In this video, I'll expose the myth of the high value man, and I'll expose one of the biggest mistakes guys make that make them give up way too early when it comes to interacting with women. We'll take a look at why most men simply give up way too early when there's some signs of friction, and we'll finally take a look at how to be persistent and how to persist in the right way. So let's start here. Friction. When you're dating a girl, in the beginning stages, in the middle stages, even in the later stages, there might be some friction. You approach a girl, you start talking to her, and after 10 seconds, she's silent, she's not giving you anything, so it's like a mini friction example. Might be that the girl texts you before a date, oh, I can't meet today, a work meeting came up, and without offering to reschedule. That's another sign of a friction. And it might be after the first date, a girl tells you, I don't think it's a good idea for us to keep seeing each other. I've had exactly the same 3 types of friction. There are a lot more examples of friction, but I just wanted to get an idea that friction exists and can exist in different stages of the dating cycle. Now, there are 3 common responses that guys have, and I want to start with I think the biggest one, and I think the biggest misunderstood one, right? Because you have the quitter. But the quitter doesn't think he's a quitter. What he thinks is, oh, I won't chase a girl. You know, if she doesn't like me, I won't chase her. He might say, oh, well, she doesn't deserve me. I'm this cool, high-value man. She doesn't deserve me with his behavior. And this is one of the biggest misunderstandings, I think, when it comes to persistence, because a lot of guys buy into this and they just lose a lot of good potential girls because they think they're acting high value. The reality is that when you are this guy and you're a quitter, women perceive you as a guy with no follow-through. A guy with no follow-through. AKA, in other words, you are a pussy. You are a quitter. You cannot handle some friction and some challenges that life throws at you. This is how you're actually perceived by women. If she tells you that she cannot do today and that makes you quit and that makes you just go away, well, you are a quitter. You're a pussy. That means that also she cannot trust you to be with you because there are going to be some challenges in life. There are going to be some rough moments. And if all she had to do was tell you that she cannot meet you today and that made you lose your mind and say, well, no, fuck this, I'm not going to pursue this, well, you are a quitter and she will not trust you. She doesn't have any reason to trust you. And also, number 3 is that sometimes women will think, oh, well, he just didn't like me enough. Because you're going to quit and you'll be like, well, he has to chase me. And the girl will think, well, I guess he didn't like me enough. So being a quitter, this is probably the worst thing that you can do. Actually, all of these are pretty bad. But this is, I think, the biggest misunderstood one, because you have a lot of circulation online telling you, okay, like, you know, respect yourself. Don't chase them. There's some truth to it, but then guys take it too far and then they just quit after a mild friction point. And again, it shows you that you're a guy with no follow-through. And a guy with no follow-through is not to be trusted in romantic scenarios or in any other scenario. The next common response to some mild friction is what I call the fragile ego. And the fragile ego, his response to, let's say, girl doing these 3 things is, oh, you don't know where you're losing. What the fuck? Like, you're doing this to me? What the fuck? Or they might say, oh, what a bitch. You know, she was a fucking bitch. How could she reject me? So they get all amped up and emotional. And their expectation is, oh, well, I'm going to teach her a lesson. She doesn't deserve me. When in reality, what does that show to the girl when you react like this? The first thing that it's showing that you are overreacting and you have no control over your emotions. You're a guy that has no control over your emotions. When you have no control over your own emotions, you have no control over your life, and hence she cannot trust you. Being in control of your own emotions is, I think, a pillar to being a successful person, a person that can be trusted. So if she had to tell you that she can't show up today and it makes you lose your shit, well, it's a good sign for her that she shouldn't really pursue anything with you. Number two, it shows her that you have a fragile ego, because if you feel insulted that the girl potentially rejected you, that she could even potentially say no to you, well, it signals quite a lot of fragility and quite a lot of ego. And also, it signals, number three, a lot of toxic traits. And I've encountered many women who have told me that they've been in toxic relationships. The guy was possessive, toxic, checking the phone, he was throwing tantrums, he was following them around, all this shit. And a lot of women have had negative experiences. So they will definitely want to weed out toxic guys with fragile egos, because those relationships usually end up pretty badly, and it leaves a negative scar on a lot of these women. If you have this response of a fragile ego, it's going to be a massive red flag for a lot of women, and they'll tend to avoid you. The next response, and the final common response, is the pleaser. So this is the exact opposite of the quitter. It's the pleaser. So he might say to all of these things, let's say a girl can say, oh, I can't meet today, work came up. He will say, no worries, don't worry, we'll just meet when you can, don't worry about it, I understand you're super busy. And the pleaser essentially is there to please the girl. Whatever she says, his response is just like, don't worry about it, I completely understand, don't worry about it. And he might be thinking that he's showing respect to the girl. So his expectation is, well, I respect her, I'm going to be a respectful, nice guy. And you think that you are respecting her, when in reality, when you're too much of a pleaser, you show that you have no respect for yourself. And hence, the girl loses respect for you. Isn't that ironic, right? You think that you are being respectful to the girl, but in reality, you're being disrespectful to yourself. And when you're disrespectful to yourself and you don't have respect for yourself, the girl loses respect for you. Also, number two, it shows that you are a needy guy and you have no options. Because if a girl is stringing you along, constantly canceling you, making you do stuff, and you just follow her along like a little rabbit, it shows that you have no other options. You worship this girl and she can do whatever she wants with you. So she will lose respect. And that is not being persistent. That is just being a pleaser. And none of these traits are going to give you the outcome that you're looking for, which is to continue this connection or relationship with this particular person. And none of them are going to work. And these are the most three common scenarios. So now let's take a look at what is it that we're seeking. So what we're seeking is grounded persistence. Grounded persistence. So there's two parts, right? First of all, what does grounded persistence show? We'll take a look at how to do this next, but what does it show? So grounded persistence shows that you will have resilience to deal with challenges. When you encounter a resilient, or a girl encounters a man that is able to deal with challenges, he has resilience, he has mental toughness. That makes the girl trust this guy, respect this guy, and be like, okay, this guy, I like this guy. I need to meet this guy. I need to continue seeing this guy. He has resilience. It definitely makes them respect you. They might still not like you and they might still reject you in the end, but that will make them respect you a lot. And it also shows that you're interested, right? Because if you give up after the first signs of difficulty and you're like, well, a lot of girls will think that you just weren't that interested. So this is why persistence is great. And now let's talk about the main thing. So how do you show the persistence the right way? Because we took a look at the quitter that just like quits way too early. And then you have the pleaser that doesn't react at all and just like, okay, sure, no worries, no worries. So how do you actually persist the right way? And I have 3 mindsets for you that are important. That I've taken a look at how I usually persist with women. And number 1 is you must have abundance of options. And this is a prerequisite. So this is a prerequisite. For you to have persistence, you have to have abundance of options. Why? Well, when you have little options or no options, by definition, you persisting is just going to be you being needy. because you have no other options. So even if you do the step 2 and step 3 the right way, just by you having no options is going to make you into a needy man, because you're doing it as you have no other options. So number 1, before you do any persisting whatsoever, you have to have options. It's not easy, it's difficult, but this is a prerequisite. Once you have options, number 2 is you only want to persist with girls that you have genuine connection with. And that's why you have to have also the number 1, because if you don't have a lot of options, you might think that you have a genuine connection with this girl, but again, you're just needy. That's the only girl that's talking to you. So a lot of guys say, oh, I really like this girl. I really had a genuine connection with her. But in reality, it's just that they were very needy, and that's the first girl that said yes to them. So this is why number 1 is very, very critical. So have abundance of options, then only do it with girls that you have a genuine connection with. And then number 3, the mindset is, I don't need you, but I respect our connection, and I'm curious where it could go. Super important. So let me read that again. I don't need you, but I respect our connection, and I'm curious to see where it could go. Now let me break down each of those parts. So the first part, I don't need you, that means that you're not going to tolerate disrespect. If she's disrespecting you, if she's stringing you along, you're not going to tolerate it. Even if it's a really great connection, you don't need her because you can have other connections. So you're going to let her go. So you're not going to allow her disrespect. And also what is important for the girl is you will respect her boundaries. If you need her too much and she might give you more friction, you might actually start disrespecting her boundaries, and you got to respect her boundaries. So I don't need you is good for you not being disrespected, and also for her that you respect her boundaries. I respect our connection. So this is important. You're not persisting because of you, you're persisting because of you and the girl. So us, like you and the girl. So you're doing a favor for your connection. You're respecting the connection, and that's why you're persisting. You're in this for both of you, right? You're doing a service for the both of your connection. And number 3 is, I'm curious where it could go. So it's not toxic. The reason that you're persisting is a very healthy one. It's just, I'm curious to see where this could go. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe it's shit, but you're curious where it could go. So it's a healthy reason for you to persist with this particular girl. And if you can do these 3 things, that's a healthy way to persist. You don't allow disrespect, you respect her boundaries, you do this for you and the girl, not just selfish. So you're not being selfish, you're doing for the both of you, and you're not being toxic. It's just your curiosity. Like, I just want to see where this can go, no regrets. When I'm 19 years old, I just want to see what would have happened with us. And when you do it that way, girls will respect you. Girls will totally respect you. And I'll give you one example, and I think this is one of my favorite ways of persisting with a particular girl. So this one is very, very, very interesting story. This girl I initially approached, she was with one girlfriend and 2 guy friends. And I got her number, and we had a really good initial chemistry. I texted her, she responded, but then she stopped replying, and I stopped replying too. And a month later, she texted me saying something along the lines of, oh, I changed my WhatsApp, I couldn't get in touch with you. It was a bullshit. It was bullshit. But still, she got back to me. We went on a date. The first date was insane. It was amazing. And after the first date, we actually agreed to have a bet and to have dinner. And we had a bet. She lost, and she said that she's going to buy me dinner because she lost the bet. But then 2 days before the second date, she sent me a message saying, I don't think it's a good idea for us to meet. I'm not in the best mental space. I hope you understand. Now, what did I do? I didn't quit right away and just delete it from my phone. I didn't overreact and say, what the fuck? Like, we had a bet and you promised me dinner. I didn't react like that. And I didn't just say, oh, no worries. It's okay. I don't mind. I said, okay, look, can we jump on a call to talk about it? Like an easy suggestion. Let's have a conversation on the phone and just talk about it. We jumped on a conversation. So I asked her what's going on. Seemed like we had a good connection. And slowly but surely, she explained that there was another guy in the picture that she was in the middle of a breaking up, but which she didn't tell me on the date. And she was having some rough moments with him. And because of it, she felt like it wasn't maybe the best way or the best time to meet. And I said, totally fine, I understand, but we had a good connection, so let's just keep our options open. Let's cancel the dinner, let's not meet now. Go do your thing, I'll go do my thing, but let's just see where it goes. We can maybe even be friends. And she liked the idea. She was like, okay, chill, you're not pressuring me, that's fine. And then we just kept slightly exchanging texts over the next, I would say, 3 months, 3 to 4 months. And it wasn't like we're texting all the time because I don't really like texting, but we just sometimes exchange some texts. And I just knew that I had a really good connection with this girl. I was seeing other girls at the time, sleeping with other girls at the time. But I was like, okay, I would like to see this girl again. And then one time, she was always responding. We were always taking 2 or 3 days to respond after the text. And one night, she was suddenly replying a lot faster. And I asked her what she was doing, and she sent me a picture from a concert. And when she sent me a picture from a concert that she was there, she was replying in that moment, I knew that it was my opportunity. So I suggested a meetup, and I went to meet her at a place. What was interesting was that this girl, she showed up with 2 guys, right? And a lot of guys would be, oh my God, what is going on? I took it easy, I didn't overreact, and it turned out that those 2 guys, one of the guys was the flatmate, and the other guy was a gay friend. And they both of them left in 10 minutes. And we had a fantastic evening. We had a few drinks, and then she came back to my home. I gave her a massage, and we slept together. And it was magical. It was amazing. And really, the conversation was flowing. We had a lot of sexual chemistry, a lot of emotional chemistry. And it was literally me persisting for 4 to 5 months. Again, not being too needy, but also respecting our connection. I just wanted to see where it could go. And yeah, it was fantastic. Now I've left Barcelona, so I'm in a different city, but it was a fantastic connection. I'm glad I followed through. And she even told me that she respected so much my level of persistence. And in the beginning, she felt like we had a good connection, but of course she wasn't that sure about me. But because I was so persistent and I was so confident about us being a good match, that she started to adopt that idea as well. And that was part of the reason why we met the second time. And she thanked me for persisting. And this is why you have to be able to persist in the right way. Finally, the last thing, if you would like to learn how to persist in the right way, first of all, as we said, you have to have abundance of options to be persistent in the right way. If you would like to learn how to get abundance of options to meet incredible women, attractive women, funny women, in an organic way, which is not with apps, take control of your dating life. I run a private mentorship with guys all over the world. It's the most practical mentorship probably that exists in this space, because you're gonna go out there in your city and you're gonna be talking to women with me being on the phone with you, guiding you, teaching you my unscripted flirting structure. You're gonna get feedback from me and the other guys in the call, and week by week, you're gonna get over your social anxiety, you're gonna learn social skills, confidence, how to get dates organically, and how to generate a lot of options so that you can become a guy that is able to persist in the right way. And really, the best girls, in my opinion, the best girls in life, you have to put in a bit of a fight. You gotta put in a bit of a fight for them, and you have to persist for them. Because the best girls, the most attractive girls, they will most likely have something going on. Maybe there's going to be already some guy, or there's going to be some sort of situation, and you have to be able to know how to persist. So if you'd like to learn that, check out the first link in the description, book a call with me, and we can speak about if this could be a good fit for you.